welcome to this episode of Agent Paranormal. I'm Kevin. I'm stepping in as host tonight since Rich couldn't make it. Rich, hope you're watching. And we miss you. Come back so that we don't have to talk so much. In studio with me, we have Peter Leonard, Steph Couture, or however the French say it.
Couture.
And Vinny.
Should I be rich?
You could be rich. I wish I was rich.
Could I be rich? Well, we all wish that.
So,
Is this agent or agent?
Agent.
Okay.
Agent Paranormal.
Utica coffee, that's good stuff. That's good stuff.
So, again, thank you for joining us on this episode. We're going to be discussing our Halloween special live investigation from the Rutger mansions. We're going to be talking a little bit about what some of our investigators experienced while inside the mansions, as well as we'll be showing some of the evidence that they caught, or we caught, here on the show on Disruption Network. So where do we want to start, Fishface?
I don't have any hair left. I'm just looking at the hair. Where did it go? What did we do? We did something at the Rucker mansion?
Yeah, we did something. I think we had a party. It was a dinner party. Less than 10 people, though.
So I got some kind of thing going on here. If anybody wants to throw out a comment or throw up or whatever, just put it on. We'll try to ask the questions.
Yeah, there's a lot of questions that night, too, for the live.
Yeah, we actually had a very good following that night, and it was a very good show. 2 hours long.
It was cold.
Yeah.
I was nice and warm.
I know you were. Thank you. I wasn't.
All I know is I came in hot because I was late, and as soon as I walked through the door, I put my box down. I heard a kid talk right through the door, and I'm like, what? I didn't even have anything set up yet. We already got something in Mansion 1.
So for those of you that haven't watched the last episode, you don't know what we're talking about with Rutger Mansions, go back and watch it. Really,
Billy the Kid was from Utica? Or was created in Utica?
So the Rutger Mansions are historic mansions in Utica. They are under the care of the Landmark Society of Greater Utica. Please look into them. You can actually make a donation or volunteer your time to help them take care of the mansions as well as other historic places. Peter has his hand raised.
Didn't we also have a first? Weren't we the first somebody to do something that nobody else did before somebody else did it?
We might have. we may have been inadvertently the first paranormal group to have a live paranormal investigation on Twitch. We were supposed to go the same time as another group, but another group actually ran about an hour late. So.
We are the first.
Agent.
I don't know.
And
if
you
that's
heard it here
official.
on the D.
I don't know if it's official. Guinness has not contacted us yet. So.
You got the D. Disrupted.
Live on the D.
Disrupted. All right, Rucker Mansions,
going
I'm
home.
sorry.
So
Can you
let's
behave?
hop right into this.
Yes,
So,
let's.
Steph,
Okay.
you were in Mansion 3.
I was.
Tell us about your experience in there. How was it?
I felt like there was a lot of energy when I first got there. It definitely felt like it was kind of going away as soon as they realized, oh, they're cool. Let's just leave. I don't know. It wasn't anything too exciting. Just a lot of feelings of energies. The spirit rods, though, that was fun to learn because that was my first time using them ever. And every time I look on TV and I see people with the rods, I'm like, I'm not a believer of the rods. But when I was holding them, I could feel the vibration, and I tried very hard to keep them still. So now I'm a believer in the rods. I mean, I don't know. I'm sure they can be manipulated, but I was not manipulating them. It was a weird little like vibration. It was cool though. I felt like that was probably the most that I got. I don't think we had any evidence otherwise, but just feelings. Although the one thing that was really terrifying, though, was this moment when I went up the stairs and there was a mannequin. And every time I forgot about that stupid mannequin, and I think I screamed at least a good solid 3 times. One was Chris. the other ones was the mannequin. So thanks for that.
You got to have a little bit of fun in the mansions.
It's stupid
So
mannequin.
scary.
Well, we better not ever bring you to the Buffalo Naval Yard then, because they
They got
have
mannequins?
mannequins that look like, what's his name there? The guy from Charles, not Manson, Charles Bronson. Every mannequin on that ship looks like Charles Bronson. Everywhere you go, you're in the dark. Oh, there's Charles Manson.
Oh,
Ooh, there's
great.
Charles
No, don't bring me
Bronson.
there. Guys, what I'm learning from this experience is my biggest fear is mannequins. So, out of all the things.
Flashlights
Vicky
are
just
your best
commented in
friend.
and said, I don't know about you, Steph, but that mannequin kept making me jump.
Yeah, it did. Solid screams.
I think we should train them a little bit better. I mean, it's kind of our fault. We threw 3 of our novice members into a mansion by themselves. But hey, that's how you learn. It's fun.
Who's going to teach him? The screamer here?
You only
Have you
scream when
not
there's a
seen the
bat in your
YouTube
mouth.
videos? You should be scared. When you investigate the paranormal, you should be scared.
That is
You don't know
true.
what they're going to do to you. They might poke, prod, touch things, especially on the second floor of old number 1. You could really get touched in there.
You know, I did notice I was getting a little more daring. The longer I was doing it, I'm like, my confidence was getting up, and I was like, all right, let's see some ghosts. I want ghosts to touch my shoulder or pop out at me. Because I definitely thought I was going to be more timid throughout the experience, because this is my first official, like, ghost hunt ever.
Mm-hmm.
And
Without 35 people in there. And,
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
You only have to worry about tripping over 2 people. And it always seems like when we have the big events and we have all these people investigating, it seems like there's so much more room. And then you go in there with just 2 or 3 investigators and you're bumping into each other. It's like, get away. Wait a minute, there's a ghost. Come here.
Very funny about the bats, Brian. Very funny. And our last event, public event. First time, I don't know where that SOB came from, but I got dive bombed by a bat downstairs. You're lucky I even went back in there for this thing that we just did.
Well, we didn't tell you, but there was a lot of warnings in the comments during the live show that everyone was like, stay out of the 3rd floor. There's lots of bats up there.
Oh, my God. Nope. I don't know if I can handle bats.
Yeah, it was too cold for bats that night.
Oh, okay. It was freezing that night. That is...
So are you excited to try and go back at some point? Or?
Yeah, it's definitely revved me up for like another investigation. I'm like, let's keep going. I need to see something.
So did you guys really have any other kind of experience throughout that? Unfortunately, we could not find out any evidence.
Yeah, I think I had the
from that.
boring house. I hate to say it, but it sounded like you guys had a really awesome night.
Well, that's why we put you over in the other one.
Yeah, I'm solid. No, I volunteered for that one. I was like, oh, this one's nicely lit. It's really pretty. I'll
warm.
stay in this one.
It has the
was
bathroom.
That's right.
For about 2 years, I got nothing out of Mansion 3. I was like, they always stuck me over there, and I'm like, there's nothing going on.
Yeah.
And then within the last year, everything's happening to me in Mansion 3, not so much in Mansion 1.
That's epic.
So, like, Pete and I we're having, like, shadows crawl at us, and
What do you mean crawl
no.
at you?
it looked like they were crawling across
No.
the floor.
Okay,
And
that
that
I
actually
don't-
happened
The
when
bedroom
Vinny
up
was in there
there.
with us as well.
Really?
Yep.
That's crazy. I don't know how you feel about a shadow crawling at me. I think that's a whole other level of...
It
The
didn't scare
bedroom,
me.
the servants' back hallway, you could see shadows moving.
I
the
definitely
second
felt...
floor.
I definitely felt a little more energy over there. Definitely.
Like the bedroom, you could actually see the black shadow creeping out of the room,
Really?
hugging the wall, going back in. You could see it moving. It was triggering his rod you left in the room there was like turning blue and it was beeping. But woo, woo.
That wasn't mine. That was...
Was that
I think it
Rich's
was,
rod?
That was Rich's millimeter.
Okay. Well,
Actually-
somebody's rod was going off, so I don't.
I
No,
do
it was,
forget.
It was a REM pod. That's what it was.
The REM pod.
Yeah, he had a REM pod on there, but I put my K2 meter next to it.
And the bed was shaking, right? Something was going on with the bed.
Yeah, well, it looked like there was somebody in that back hallway. And they, like, kept trying to come out. And we're like, well, what are you doing in here? Come on out. Come talk to us. And then if we went anywhere towards the bed, like, okay, we're going to leave, the REM pod would just light up. Every color was on. And it was like, great, do it again.
And we're not in the room. We're all
Yeah.
outside in the middle hall spacey thing.
So we're sitting out in that middle lobby area of the second floor, right outside all the rooms, the common area, I guess. And we're just talking, and we're seeing this meter light up on the bed, or the REM pod, whatever, and the K2 meter's going off. We got a K2 meter on the table in front of us, that's going off. And then at one point, it felt like something like crawled up next to me. I was sitting on the chair, and Pete just across the way looking, he's like, something crawled up next to you. I'm like, I know, it's touching my arm, I could feel it. It's like, it's a weird feeling when you get to like something touching you, because I don't know if you've ever felt it,
I have not.
but it just it's like, it's not icy cold, but it just kind of like, I don't know, it's like an icicle that's like being dragged on your arm.
Really?
Yeah, it's like you don't feel the full cold of it, but you know that it's something cold. So that's what I've experienced. I don't know about everybody else, but
So can I throw a question to Vinny quick?
Certainly.
When you see them, what do they look like? Like when I see them, it looks like television static. That's the best way I can describe. It's like a moving cloud of pixels. You can't really focus on it.
The woman
But
we
you can see-
there, she was dressed. She was actually there.
Okay, so you're
walking.
more
You could
apparitional.
see her, but the one that has the odor, we just got the odor of it, and when because Rich and I were walking on the second floor, in the first mansion, and we came up through the common area and then went into the bathroom. The smell was so intense, so I thought maybe there was an animal that was dead in there because that's how intense it was. So I looked around, there was nothing there. And I said, Rich, do you smell it? And he said, no, I don't smell anything. And then we went into the other room, and every room we went into, you could smell a little bit of it, like it was just ahead of us. And then we went into that one area, and he goes, do you smell that? And I said, yeah, it's right. It was right in front of us. And that's when we got the voices.
so
So
you
that's-
guys were all in Mansion 1.
Well,
Pete and Vinny were in Mansion
Yes.
1.
A few times I was in Mansion 2
Yeah,
doing a number one, but I was...
I hope not.
but he didn't have a coat on.
What's that?
He didn't have a coat on.
He never
It
has
was
a coat
friggin'
on.
hot in there.
What?
It was, yeah.
If,
It did get fundamentally cold in there when the ghost showed up. But
if Pete
there were
was
many
somebody
times.
that would wear shorts, he would wear shorts all year long. But Pete doesn't wear shorts.
I can't show off my six pack. It just
Shorts would not show off a six-pack, Pete.
I don't want to know.
Where is your six pack?
yes, you do.
I don't want to know anything.
I'm just imagining a six pack like on your calves, just like
So we got quite a few viewers right now. So what I want to show you guys is something that we showed during the event while you were there. I want to show a piece of evidence. Many of you have probably not seen this evidence because when I was texting everybody in the group and saying, hey, send me the evidence that you have so that we could put it up and show it during the live show. Oh, okay. So I got Pete sending me the evidence. I got Rich sending me the evidence. Those are the ones that I expected because they handle all the lecture, like PowerPoints and all that. So they should have all that stuff. Then comes Sarah texting me out of nowhere and says, hey, can you use this? And I was like, where did this come from? She goes, I took this in the mansion back in like maybe 2016, 2017. I'm like, you've had this for this long and you haven't shown us? What? She's like, well, yeah. So this is what she sent. I have two of them. One, I just brightened it so you can kind of see it better. It's going to be a little difficult to see on the screen, but... So this is the second floor inside Rutger Mansion 1 in the room next to the bathrooms. So you're seeing into the doorway right now. You can kind of see something in the center, kind of at the bottom on the screen. You can kind of see like legs or feet or something there. So let's enhance that.
Oh my gosh.
Seems like a little girl or something is standing right there staring back at it.
Yes. Oh, that's creepy.
So what do you make of it?
Good catch, Sarah.
How dare you hold this from us?
So is that the second floor bathroom with the large tub?
Yep. The one
There's
that,
always weirdness in that doorway.
yeah.
Didn't
She
we?
said that one always freaks her out. That's actually the doorway where we caught the faces
I was
last
going
time.
to say, Rich has
Well,
the face
the,
photos where the
yeah.
guy caught the...
Wow.
How do I want to put this? Rich and I shot that little paranormal comedy thing there, and we may have borrowed children to shoot the video.
Sarah, you did not offer that to the group before. Don't you comment and put me on the spot like that. I already yelled at you. Let it go.
But as we were filming that comedy, the kids were sitting in the doorway there, and all kinds of activity was happening around it. We didn't tell them because they were like 10 and 13, but like the K2 meters going off were really going off. The door that slammed next to them really slammed shut. They thought it was all stuff that we set up, but this was really happening in the doorway.
Real quick. Apparently, I was wrong. Sarah just mentioned that it actually was Mansion 3, the top of the stairs,
Okay.
at that bathroom right at the top.
Yeah, I definitely felt some ickiness there.
So that would be Elizabeth, the little girl that we were talking to in Mansion
Yes.
3.
Was she handicapped?
I'm not sure.
That's what I drew
didn't
out of
know.
that. And
I
she
didn't know
lived
her
on the
personally.
3rd floor in that little pen that they have up on the 3rd floor.
Well, that's
Page
Mansion
area.
1.
There's 1 and 3.
There's 1 and 3 too?
There's 1 and
I don't
3.
know.
If you go
I'm
to
not
the
allowed
3rd
up on
floor,
the 3rd floor and 3.
there's like a little door
Oh, yeah.
into like a small attic space that's even worse, smaller than Mansion 1.
You guys
That
were
door
working with
is really
Landmark longer than me, so you got like privy to all those secret spaces that by the time I joined, they locked off to all of us.
I don't think that floor is safe, which is probably why you never seen it. It wasn't safe when we first went in there.
I've been a firefighter for, a long time, so
But they
I've been in unsafe places. I can handle it.
But they said she was like 16 or 17 maybe when she passed, but there was like a baby crib in the room.
Huh.
And I don't get the feeling she was treated well. That was like one of the very few and only times I ever investigated Mansion 3. Like when we had the whole mansion, we did the basement, every floor up, but there was just something not good with that. Like there was some unsettled energy.
Yeah, when we were asking the Rods questions, I don't know if it got caught on camera, but basically we were told that there was a dark energy in that room. So I'm surprised to see the little girl in that room, because isn't the story that the little girl is kind of scared of the dark energy and she kind of keeps away from it? Am I making this up?
Well,
I heard little bits here and there.
I don't
know
think
too
it was a
much about
dark energy. It's just a male figure who controls that area.
Okay.
What do you
He
mean?
was the one that Vinny and I were accosting, that he doesn't like me because I was not afraid of him. I kept going down the hallway towards him.
Yeah.
And at one point, I saw the crawling again, and Vinny was like, that's not a human thing. So I
Yeah.
think he was actually projecting himself to make it try and scary to me. And I was just like, ooh, look, there's a little ghost on the floor.
It's like he saw The Grudge and he was like, I'll copy that.
Basically, he was just trying to scare me to get more energy out of me, and it wasn't working. So he just
Yeah.
kept getting angry to the point where he's like, well, I just don't like you, leave.
Yeah.
Well, he told us to leave. He called you an asshole and told you to leave.
Well, he doesn't know anything about me.
But in the spirit box in number 1 told us to get out 3 times.
Well, that always does. But
Yeah.
I know there was something that was like, don't come in this room, and it was the room that
I mean,
you
we
showed.
understand it's their homes, but, there's something about you got to be a good host.
Gotta be friendly.
We're guests.
they don't
Offer
ever
us
cook
some
for us.
tea.
Well, the one guy, we saw a little boy running through the downstairs, the one that you ran into, and he just kept moving around, and he would talk a little bit, and then doors would open. You just walked by a door, and then the door was opened behind you that was closed as you walked past it.
So was this mansion 1?
1.
Okay.
That's when we were in. And then the basement door kept opening. Every time we turned around, the basement door was open. I asked Rich, I said, did you just open the door? Nope. Nobody opened it.
So in the world of the paranormal, intuition plays a big part in things. And like I said, I got there maybe, 20 minutes late? I don't
You were
remember.
late.
I'm sorry.
You were late.
So you guys were doing your thing up on second floor. I started to walk towards the room with the
center room.
armor in it. And as soon as I got to the threshold of the door, everything in my body was telling me, don't cross into that room.
Right.
Don't go in there. And then I think you or somebody come in and said, something wants you to go in that room, Pete. Or something. And I'm like, I'm not going in that room because my body's telling me not to go in that room. I don't remember the exact scenario, but I remember not going in there when I first got there.
I remember the instant and I saw what I thought it was a shadow, but I thought it was your shadow projected on the wall from Rich's millimeter. He had that red light on, and I thought that you kind of stepped in front of it and it cast your shadow on the wall, and I thought there was something in there. So I'm like, can you go in there and check? And you were like, no. I'm like, okay, what's the point of this investigation then?
We went into the room where the armor is, and we went into that side room and said no admittance.
Mm-hmm.
We kept going in there because whatever we were following was just ahead of us.
And that would be to the stairs, too.
That would be to the stairs and then to the basement. And then every time we got to the basement door, it was opened. And we're like, why are we following? We can't catch it, whatever it was. So then we would go around to the door where we came in and then circled back over. I'd close the door to the basement because we weren't supposed to go down there. And then it all started again. Then the door was opened again. Sometimes it'd be 6 inches, sometimes it'd be 2 feet.
And I know people are taking our word for this, but that door does not open and close easily. That's a very hard pull once it's closed.
Yeah, and nobody's allowed in the basement. So.
And then as we went upstairs again, things were going on up there again because we could hear footsteps, thinking our people were upstairs and nobody was up there.
Well, funny you should say that. So let's move on to our first capture. This was you and Rich on the second floor of mansion number 1. Just so all of our viewers know that if you were to watch the show, you can go back and watch it at any time. Or if you were watching live, you could have caught this evidence. This was pulled directly from the video of the actual show. So this was you and Rich on second floor of mansion number 1. Just after you were chasing that smell around that you couldn't find.
Yeah.
So let's give it a watch. Todd, just outside the bathroom where they started, we actually have a photograph.
What's that?
That somebody
Hold on, guys.
took.
What? You hear something?
So, right in that instance, what you heard in the beginning, you heard it sounded like a female. It sounded like she went, whoo! And then you hear me being obnoxious and talking over the top. I was actually about to show a piece of evidence on the show, and Todd overheard Rich talking and saying that something happened, and you turn around and see Vinny. Vinny says that he just heard a whoo. So, we'll watch that one more time.
But before you click, what was the light anomaly in there? Was that the IR, an IR signature? So when you rewind, when you're playing Watch to the Left, you'll see a bar of light shoot across.
Take a look. Todd, just outside the bathroom where they started, we actually have a photograph.
What's that?
That somebody
Hold on, guys.
took.
What? You hear something?
I didn't see the light on that one.
I didn't see it.
One more time, because I didn't see it this time. I saw it the first time. Like,
You got flashlight. That's called retinal detachment. Todd, just outside the bathroom where they started, we actually have a photograph
What's that?
that
Hold
somebody
on, guys.
took.
What? You hear something?
Was it when they entered this room?
There was 3 times we heard a woman in that bedroom. But we don't know why she was trying to get our attention. We did walk into the bedroom a couple times, and that's when we started smelling the smell in that area. This very putrid decomposition stink.
So we heard the whoo. Did you hear anything specific, or
When the first thing I heard, who? Rich and I were talking back and forth as we're coming over. We're actually started looking for lights to turn on inside, and we heard whoo. And I turned and went towards. If you see me going towards, looking towards the bedroom a little bit, because it caught my attention. Then you hear it again. And then Rich says, "Did you hear that?" And I said, "Yeah, that's what I've been hearing." Because we heard that noises have been coming from that area.
Was she responding to something you were saying?
Like she was having her own conversation with us.
Okay.
She was on the outside of our conversation. Like who? Evidently she was trying to figure out what we were talking about or part of our conversation.
Yeah.
But we were coming up, and as we came up above, that's where you saw the set of stairs going to the second floor or third floor, and you could see something moved fast up the steps.
Mhm.
But we couldn't. I couldn't figure out what it was, and then the more we went through those rooms, the more we saw and more we smelled. But never anything found.
What room was this in?
Those are the bedrooms on.
Like right off the stairs when you come up? Like that bathroom's attached to it?
this is the
Down those
back
hallways.
stairway
Back.
of
All right.
mansion. You know where those all the octopus of rooms and everything are back there.
Because the front bedroom, when we first went in there, the first time we picked up an Ann, there was a lady, and she actually said my first and last name through the spirit box. And she also said Alex's first and last name, which is the only time we're like, is that how you pronounce it? He's Polish. We're like, he's like, wow, that was a good pronunciation. But we did pick up Ann in that room. But
This was a sounded like a person who knew we were there, who was carrying on a conversation with Rich and I, or wanted to be part of it. But as we came out of that area, we went back later on, and we didn't get. I don't think we got more noises from her. We got them down the hallway, the other hallway.
I've always had the sense, since you've been in there now, I always had the sense in that octopus of rooms, as Kevin called it, that there's a, like a bad, what do you want to call it, orderly or person there that's still roaming the halls that may have, I don't want to say tortured people, but was not nice to the patient. I always picked up on like one specific room there, which I'm sure the mattress isn't leaned up against the wall anymore, but we called it the mattress room, that you always felt that guy was in there telling you to get the hell out of there. And like he was mean to whatever was left on that floor. That was just a weird thing I've always got feelings of. But
There's an area where you have a feeling as you're walking, like somebody wants to push you to get you away from that area. Like you're intruding. And it must be a man or male because it doesn't want you in his space. Now, whether he's a resident or an orderly, I don't know. But you do feel way in that back section that something doesn't want you. I don't want to go down the back steps because I think something will push you. Because that's where that little kid goes down. Because you can hear footsteps on those back steps.
Yeah.
I've always wondered how they got the dead out of there, because that's really you can't get a gurney in and up and out of there very easily.
They carried him
but
down. There was a
Yeah,
way.
that was
wheelchairs would not fit there.
Kind of very.
Maybe older ones, but
I would almost assume that at that point they would probably be pretty light and in bags. For some of our viewers that
not
don't
to be
know,
gruesome, but it's
Mansion number 1, its last life was a nursing home up until 2014 when the state finally shut them down. There's not any kind of elevator in the building, so it was kind of like once you were on second floor, third floor, wherever you were, that's pretty much where you were until end of life. It was usually people that probably didn't have any family left. So it wasn't a great building, and that's unfortunately probably why it is the way it is now.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
What does it smell like though when you smell something? Like, is it a real smell or is it
It's
a little
smell
different?
it smells like it almost has a stink of decomposition, like, but it's wet. It has that really wet stink,
Yeah.
and whatever it was kept ahead of us. When Rich smelled it, he just turned and said, "That's horrible." I mean, he knew what it was because I had already explained to him what I had been smelling.
Yeah.
But every room off the bathroom was the first room we got it, or I got it, and then it went into that bedroom off the bathroom, the big bedroom.
Now,
All right.
for the most part, if anybody's listening that knows paranormal, you'll always hear the smell of death is usually attributed to that wonderful D word, demons. With the history of that building, I wouldn't put it past being it's just
Just an
one of the
imprint.
last smells
Yeah.
in that building. And
It's
number
wood.
one, it could be a locked-in smell that is part of that building forever. It could be a residual smell, or maybe even intelligent, kind of letting you know that they're still there and this is what they had to deal with.
Whatever it is, it's there. It lets you know that they're just in front of you. And if you're going to follow them, you may not go into a good spot because some of the places that we walked into were very, made you very uneasy.
That building does make me uneasy to begin with. That's why I chose Mansion 3. Not because I didn't think there wouldn't be anything to investigate, but just one just gives me the heebie-jeebies, to put in
Yeah,
professional terms.
I love Mansion 1 for that reason.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, with all the cleanup they're doing, well, fortunately, with all the cleanup they're doing,
It's for history.
all the artifacts have been pretty much taken out, so it's not like that creepy haunted house vibe anymore.
Yeah.
It's still creepy.
Nah. I mean, the paint
The
tastes
psychological
wonderful.
creep is gone.
As you're walking down through those hallways and the stuff's falling.
It's funny now that I've gone through an investigation, though. Like, now I'm like, get me in Mansion 1. I want to see something.
And just a word to our watchers. I know you see a lot of TV shows, you see a lot of paranormal. That is the perfect location where you do not ever provoke something. And you have to maintain a level of respect for what's there, because I'm going to guarantee, I'm not going to use the D word, as Kevin just said. I'm not saying anything like that's there, but there is an energy there that you don't want to mess with, whether it's good or bad. You have to respect it. It just could be a very, should I say, lost soul, or soul that has a lot of bitterness that's lingering there.
You can say it. He's an
just-
asshole.
Yes.
And he might push you down the stairs. Is that the push you down the stairs guy?
But asshole for good reason, because the way he was treated, perhaps, or what went on there. I mean, there's a lingering hatred. Hatred's the good word. There's a hatred there of whatever's left there. So,
And
can it hurt
from the
you? I
sounds of it-
know.
from the sounds of it, that spirit's been there for a long time, even long before the nursing home. So if that spirit's been there during the nursing home, imagine all the shit that spirit's been through. I mean, that stuff is stuck there. So during all that time, that spirit's able to build energy, keep energy, and it just getting angry. I mean, you're seeing what people are living through in that situation. So yeah, it might be a little bit cautious.
It also might be. It also may be someone who worked for a wealthy family who took it to a nasty degree.
Yeah.
You know, maybe didn't think they were treated well.
And now they're the proprietor of the place.
Yeah,
And
they're
what they want goes. That's
Yeah.
They're stuck there.
I mean,
that's
to
what
the
we're
point-
saying by respect. It's just the
Yeah, I mean, to me, I don't think it actually is, but it's up there. It is being possibly like an energy vampire. It's just something that just is able to keep and build energy and use it to its liking. It could project itself as the most unruly and scary thing that you can think of, but it's basically just to say, get away from me. But again, I'm not the one that believes in the D words. I'll be the first one to say it. I'm always the first one to say, if you're an asshole in life, you're an asshole in death. And if I start throwing Bible verses at you, you're probably going to be pretty mad at me too.
If I go before you guys, you ain't ever sleeping because that light switch is mine.
Well, I did notice my cell phone, because I was using it for my my camera and also my flashlight, was draining very quickly.
Well, if you're using it for your flashlight, that would explain that.
Yeah, but it kept going off. The flashlight kept
That's what happens when the battery drains. The flashlight's like, I can't run anymore, so it turns off.
No, I was just walking. All of a sudden, I get click, and it's gone. No more flashlight. So I said, stop shutting off my damn flashlight. I got to see where I'm going. And it stopped. It stayed on the rest of the time.
That's the one thing about those buildings is they're, with the respect, there's also a lot of playful spirits in there. And the thing I love the most about Mansion 1 is it's a pick and choose building. Is there could be many, many nights in which it took me a good year and a half of being in the group before anything happened with me in Mansion 1, and it would pick on people. And then if it chose that it was your night, that's when everything started happening to you. Huh. I mean, the first night it happened to me, I was walking into that octopus of rooms. I took 2 steps down those 2 small steps, and something tugged on the back of my shirt. And Pete was actually in the upper room talking with the spirit box, and I just darted right into the room. I'm like, who pulled on my shirt? And it went dead quiet on the spirit box. So he started asking. Nothing. So I turned around, walked back down the hall, and as soon as I left, Pete told me that he asked again what or who pulled on my shirt or why you were bothering Kevin. Do you remember what it said to you?
Not offhand, I'm sorry.
You told me.
I remember, but I don't remember exactly.
He bothered me.
He bothered you. Yes, he did.
Really?
Yep.
Oh my God.
I never gave you that clip,
goes
did
along
I?
with what Vinny was saying, because it was in that back hallway that there's something there that's just like, nope, get out, keep going.
Interesting.
So if there's somebody there that doesn't like to be bothered, then there's that.
I want to go now. Let's go now, guys.
So that very narrow hallway, as you go down the stairs, second floor, narrow hallway, and then the octopus, I guess we're going to rename this now forever. That was the first time. It was me, Alex, and Steve. I don't remember who was directly behind me at the time, and something went right through me. That was the first time I ever had a spirit literally go through me. People are like, that's such an enchanting and glorifying. I almost puked. That was the worst feeling I've ever had in my life. We have it on tape because I'm like, oh, and you could just feel this cold go right through you. Hit. I don't remember if it was Steve or Alex, and then grazed right by the third one. They're like, what the hell was... And that's where we got the Milton clip. Mm-hmm. That all happened all at once. There was multiple things going... But that thing just hit me head on and just went...
It wasn't the one from
crazy.
the bedroom to across the hall to the other bedroom.
No, so you go down the 2 stairs. There's a very, very narrow hallway. So not the end one, but the one before.
Well, you could see something go from bedroom across the hall to the other bedroom.
Which I think is actually opened now. The last time I was up there, they opened that wall.
Now.
Yeah.
Yep.
Which was never open, but that was Milton's room.
Yep. So for our viewers, if you go back and watch the live investigation, we actually do play the Milton clip. We don't have the Milton clip tonight, but you can go back and watch it and you can listen for yourself. Let's talk a little bit about the spirit box, the portal. How did that work out for you on
It's a waste of time.
Halloween night?
It's a waste of time. Save your money. Garbage. No. So I changed out all the batteries, and as soon as I put the task cam on, dead. Changed out the batteries, dead. So I don't have any audio for you. But as soon as I initially set it up, the kid did come through. Our buddy did come through.
Mm-hmm.
The K word. And there were other various, just little random answers. I'm pretty sure I heard my name 5 or 6 times. Again, I was late when I first came in. I set my stuff down. I was taking my jacket off. As I was taking my jacket off, the door was open. Again, these are all rooms that have never been open for us, but since they were renovating the place, all this stuff's wide open now. So where we would never see through, I could actually see through to the hall where the door is where you come in. And as I'm taking my coat off, I heard a kid talking, and I saw something walk right by the door. And I'm like, wow, I haven't even gotten my coat off. We're playing already. Good for us. But the portal is a spirit box that's attached to a more powerful speaker, and we speak to dead people. And sometimes it'll make your poop turn green. Did it happen that night? Yes. But
Well,
I'm trying to think of one profound one. I mean, that's like if you were there ever, it would be profound to you because we've been there so much. It's like, oh, it said his name. Okay, he's here.
I don't know how I'd
Of
feel
course
if it
he's
said my
here.
name.
so it's
Not to
fun-
diminish that, but that's
it's funny
it's
you
almost
say
like
that,
on
though.
demand. On demand.
Unfortunately, you said that your task cam, you couldn't get any recordings of it. Luckily, we had cameras running all night.
After
doing live.
$6 in batteries, I'm done. I'm done.
Well,
Good rule of thumb in general.
we do have a clip.
I'm done. They won't run in the test. You got to make sure you buy real batteries. A lot of them won't power most of this equipment.
Really?
I've learned that. Like if you use dollar store batteries, the task cam won't even turn on.
Well, yeah, because the spirits just like chew that stuff up.
So no, there I go by
breakfast.
the extra copper, $17 for 4, and there's the battery.
That's like buying like the mini bag of fudge stripes. It's going to be gone in like 30 seconds.
We should come out with our own batteries, just like ghost-resistant batteries.
Like
Make a
people,
fortune.
oh, it drained my battery. It's a 9-volt. I'd rather you punch me. The punch will go away. The friggin' 9-volt was $9.
Well, we do have a clip.
Yes.
Basically, you had left the portal running and you walked out into the other room where I believe you're in the room with the armor.
The scary armor that I was told not to ever go into.
Yeah.
And the piano played itself.
It didn't play
After
itself.
I
We
played
heard
it.
you playing it. So, well, let's just listen to the clip. You're going to sound like somebody's throwing up. I don't know who that is. That might be Pete or his stomach or something.
I don't remember throwing up.
But we don't know what the audio is. It does sound like somebody's puking. We'll
I don't
try.
remember.
Here we go. I'm in here. Would you like me to start praying?
Was Sarah throwing up?
Do you hear it?
Yeah. I don't know what it's saying, but I hear it.
Let's play it one more time. You're right here. I'm in here. Would you like me to start praying?
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So if you listen in the background, you can hear the portal still running, and you can actually hear come through the portal. Peter.
Yep.
So we'll play that one more time.
Sorry, I ruined the
Would you
clip.
like me to start praying?
I ruined the clip. I'm sorry. Was it me?
So there's another addition to your catalog of Peters that come through your portal.
My catalog of Peters.
You get a whole bunch of Peters coming out the
How
portal.
come they
for
say
you.
your name so much? Do you know why?
Good Lord, don't let Mike get a hold of that one. A catalog of Peters. But
Is it just your name when you go like?
I've been called out many times. One particular clip Rich will play at presentations is actually my dad calling my name
Really?
in one of them. Same tone, 100% sure.
That's really cool.
Because we were doing an investigation. I forgot New London out that way, and he was running something, and he's like, Pete, you got to come in here. Someone keeps calling your name. And I went in there and was like, Peter. And I'm like,
I don't know how I
There
feel
it
if I
is.
just heard
Thank
my
you.
name.
Oh, it's worse when it's first and last. You can maybe envision that you thought you heard your first name, but when it's like, what's my name? Peter Leonard. And it's like, oh,
You're like, crap, it is my name.
okay. You have me at a disadvantage. What is your name, sir?
Actually, Karen just posted a very good point. She said perhaps opening the spaces is activating more.
Well, construction would bring that out,
Yeah.
yes.
So
Again, I don't think
I mean,
there's nothing bad there. It's just,
no. What she's saying is, you're seeing through areas that you couldn't see before.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
now we're seeing an uptick of activity over there. So I mean that follows all the theories.
That's true.
I do think there's something bad there. I don't think it's all, unicorns and lollipops.
well,
Yes, it is. I got a lollipop last time I was there.
Who gave it to you?
A unicorn.
See?
given the people that own that and just the history of the United States attached to those people is amazing in them buildings.
Yeah.
Like Roscoe Conkling was the man back then. I mean, and then to bring in people like Grant and Sherman.
Mm-hmm.
You had Butterfield, he was also a general. His father started and then with Jesse James now, which I never knew. Then you had
Not
all the
Jesse
banking
James.
family.
It was Billy the Kid.
Billy James?
Billy the Kid.
Billy the Kid.
Jesse the Kid. Okay, I got it.
Pete,
Can you
Pete is
imagine-
also the guy that you tell him to go on and watch some streaming thing, and it's no matter what it is, it's always the YouTube. And that's the way he says it too. Oh, is it on the YouTube?
It's on that Yugle.
Oh my god.
And some of the things that went on in that building, I mean,
Hi, Michelle.
you are true. The history is there. There's so much history in that building. And now that things are being torn apart, I mean, just imagine what they're finding in it. Things that are buried in the walls or...
See, being like the Civil War historian, I imagine like those ballrooms, they had balls, they had the Utica militia in there. You had Horatio Seymour, who was governor of New York. You had, like I said, Conklin. You have all these people socializing, and that was the in crowd of the time. And and now to look at it today, I could understand why they're a little on the pissed side, because that beauty's not there anymore if they're
It's true.
checking in.
But it all goes back to what you were saying before. It's all about respecting the atmosphere. I don't necessarily think that anyone's going to be severely injured going into that place by any of the energies. Just be aware, be respectful, and that's it. I mean, I feel bad for, and like they've had a lot of people that vandalize the building, break into the building over the years. Really, I kind of feel bad for the people that break in and go inside because who knows
never
what happens to them, but they never find them in the morning. So, I mean,
They might be in the basement with that door
that might be
opening.
why we can't go in the basement.
Oh god.
I've been in the basement.
Oh,
If you could ever get a tour of the basement, that's actually more fascinating than the rest of the house. The laundry rooms down there like they have woodwork in the basement, like woodwork.
Really?
Not what you would imagine in the basement of like woodwork.
See, and that was because you were privy to go down there before all the rest of us, and then it got shut down.
And that maybe it's number one. One had the Underground Railroad, possibly. I know that was pushed when I first got in. They said there was a room there which was actually a coal room. The way the doors were, that was a coal feed. That's
I wouldn't put it past that because I mean Utica
Again,
was
given the crowd of
central
people.
hub of the Underground Railroad. All trails led to Utica, and then from here they split off and went different ways up to Canada. There's a lot of Underground Railroad places around here.
Yeah.
And do you know how they used to tell? Here's your history lesson for the day.
Uh-oh.
Pete's got to give you a history lesson. Do you know what lawn jockeys are?
Yes, I do.
You know that was the Underground Railroad.
I know that.
And the colors and the placement of the lantern meant you could either get lodging here or they would help you travel.
Really?
Polka dots, stripes, the colors all meant something along the railroad that this house would provide you with that particular. I mean, people look at them today and they think it's, again, the culture we're in, think it's a little racist thing, but that was actually a mile marker for people trying to find freedom up to Canada.
Quite the opposite back then.
I did not know that. That's fascinating.
And where'd we go? We were in Wampsville. I had to go to the DMV, the massive house on the corner just past the Walmart. They have 2 different original jockeys out there. So that I would almost guarantee you that building was probably on the path.
That's so cool.
So we're
Although you're in Utica, so everybody has Our Lady of the bathtub. So I mean, that's the
Yeah.
they bury the cast iron bathtub and put Mary in there. But
So we're getting up to the top of the hour here. So I want to play one more clip that we have from the mansion that night. This is actually a twofer. So listen close.
You don't want to talk with us anymore?
Did you just say something? I heard somebody say, "Come here."
I like that we were just paused on my face in the corner. My phone just dies.
All right, we'll do that one more time. I
Yes.
say one more time, but we always play it like 2 more times. Here we go.
You don't want to talk with us anymore?
Did you just say something? I heard somebody say, "Come here."
I definitely
said
hear.
Peter.
Peter?
That woman said Peter. I hear that clear as day.
Did you hear the whispering though right after? That's what I'm hearing is the whispering, like really, like very faint, like.
So the yelling you're hearing.
I hear all of it, but the woman, there's a very clear woman in there saying Peter.
Okay,
Come here,
and which
Peter.
part is that?
One more time. I'll put my hand up when I hear it.
Okay, well, the viewers aren't going to see it, so.
I'll fart then.
You don't want to talk with us anymore?
Oh.
Did you just say something? I heard somebody say, "Come here."
Yeah, you pointed with she whispered.
Come here, Peter.
Ooh.
Oh, it's for crying
I
out loud.
hear the come here, but that might be also because I'm hearing
Could be.
Rich saying it
Yeah.
at the end, saying, "Did you hear that? I heard somebody say come here."
I heard "come here" too, but
Um,
you're right. I know what you mean.
but there's
Listen
also
close.
It could
what
be
sounds
me.
like a child yelling.
Right, but
Well,
if
at the
you hear
beginning,
it,
yeah.
It's
Yeah.
a female saying, "Come here, Peter."
Mm-hmm.
So it must have been trying to get his attention. But we were seeing people up on the banisters of the 3rd story looking down, but couldn't figure out if it was the angle was so difficult, but you could see movement on the 3rd floor. But we weren't allowed to go up there because of the construction.
Yeah.
The floor was disrupted. But they were moving around.
That could have been the bats.
They were looking for you.
Come here, Peter. We're waiting for you.
So, oh no, let's recap the night.
Yes.
How did you guys feel we did with this investigation?
We need 10 more.
Yeah.
Different places.
Yeah.
If you got a spooky place out there, give us a call.
Yeah.
Preferably before the lockdown. Give us a call so we could get one in.
The
Yeah,
building
that-
itself has so much going on that if we had more of the equipment that we could like just videotape what was going on in every room.
Mm-hmm.
But it's so difficult because there's so much area,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
you know.
That's true.
I think for what we did, I mean, that was kind
It
of
was
a last
amazing.
minute setup, is what we did, and I think it came out phenomenal. It
Yeah.
worked very well for what we wanted to do, and
It was a lot of fun.
yeah, I had a great time doing it.
Yeah.
Maybe next time I'll actually go and investigate, but well, depends on the weather. But
You
yeah,
did a good job.
what's that?
You did a good job.
Yeah.
I just talked. I was a talking head. It was
The
fun.
the one thing was I don't know how trail cams work. If they would be able to pick up some of the movements when we leave a room, if they would actually pick up the things, because if we left a room, you'd turn around and see something moving behind you. You just left there. It was like when I was walking alone up on the 2nd floor, I'm like, what the hell just happened?
You walked alone on the second floor?
Yeah, Rich was on the other.
I love doing that. Just walking around the mansion by
Alright.
myself.
I'm gonna get good at this, guys. I'm gonna be alone on the second floor someday.
Don't ever be alone on the second floor.
Just
We
'cause of bats.
used to use motion detectors, but we stopped because when we would use the walkie-talkie, it would
Talkie walkie.
as soon as you'd click the walkie-talkie, it would trigger the motion sensor.
Oh.
And then that actually did something to the DVR at the same time. I don't remember. That's why we stopped using certain pieces of equipment. But then those were very cheap motion sensors.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, the home security unit we have, I can't believe the quality of that thing for $50. I'm thinking of getting 3 or 4 of them and bringing them on investigation. And they're all Wi-Fi now that you can.
What I'm thinking of getting is what our client in our St. Johnsville case has right now, because they're going nuts with sending us so much evidence right now. We're going to have to do a recap on that because we got twice as much evidence as the last show we did with them.
Yes.
The teddy bear is amazing.
Yeah, it's great stuff. Like our friend that's in the silhouette showed up again on the front porch, so they've got another clip of that. They've got shadows showing up in the basement. They've got. Now, I am not a big orb guy, but I am pretty damn positive that this is a legit orb. I've never seen anything like this on camera.
Really?
And the way that it's just floating and it's just there, it's so wispy and weird. So it's great. So we might have to recap that at some point coming up.
Yeah.
They do want us back, so we got to talk to the team and see if we can get back down there.
Get as many EMF generators as you can and pump that place with EMF.
And EM pumps. Like how you went that whole roundabout and used
I couldn't think of what it was
except-
called. An EM pump. A very unstable ceiling fan. Bring it with you, or alarm clock that gives off 1,000 milligauss. Bring one of those.
One of the girls brought a kiddie ball with her, and she put it on one of the steps to see if it would roll. And every time it rolls, it lights up.
Yeah.
And we were watching it, and it seemed like it was moving just enough, but not enough to turn the light on. And maybe it's just your eyes because you're waiting for it to move.
Mm.
But
Will they
Yeah,
let
it's
us
always
do a
that.
live broadcast?
I was just gonna ask that.
Maybe we might be able to talk to them.
Let's call them right now,
I
live.
mean, as long as we
on
don't
Destruction.
show them, I guess
You wanna
we'll show the
text them?
location. That'd be.
The
Let's see. I don't know. The last time we were there, nothing happened for us. It's all stuff outside that.
I agree with Todd. Like, I have the Tascam recorders. Mine malfunctioned, and that's a highly unlikely scenario that they malfunction, where it recorded the spirit box, but not us. So how is it recording one thing and totally not recording us when we're talking? But I did find that very fascinating, where I asked what page of the Bible you like, which the Bible's sitting literally right here next to me, and it was like page 50 or something, 55, and I looked down, and it's on page 55. I'm like,
So
All right.
let's
But none of
have
that
to
was-
do a recap of that on an
none of that was
episode coming
good.
up.
Yeah.
But other than that, that is our evidence wrap of our first ever live investigation at the Rutger Mansion for
and
our
first ever
Halloween
on
special.
Twitch.
that was,
I don't know what Twitch is, but we did it first.
It was overall, it was an amazing investigation because things that were seen, even if they didn't catch it on the cameras and people didn't see it, take our word for it, it was amazing.
Yeah. So if there's anybody out there that even is watching, if you have a place in mind that you have a contact that would like to have us in there or do a show on it, do a live show in it, do a live investigation, I'm sure we could probably work that out. Let us know. Send us a message on Agent Paranormal or Contact Disruption Network. They can get to us as well. We want to thank Disruption Network for putting us on the air, for all of your viewing needs and doing any kind of advertising. Reach on out to Disruption Network and they can get you going. Also, check out Disruption Network has some new apparel out there. So once you reach out, try and buy some stuff. Another big thank you to the Landmark Society of Greater Utica for letting us in the Rutger Mansions. They're such a great
Thank
group, and they really do take care of us.
Yeah, they're awesome.
I can't wait to see it when it's finished.
I know.
Yeah.
I know you want the Silent Hill, but I can't wait to see that restored.
Me neither. But other than that, I want to thank everyone for watching. Thank you guys for being here.
Yeah.
Until next time, we'll scare you later.